big.
Right?
I'm losing my boner.
Well, this is what we always do. We always bullshit before because it gets everybody in that vibe to talk and, you know.
Well, I mean, I can already tell you it's going to start off way better than the other podcast I hopped on, which is my other bandmates podcast called All My Friends Are Dicks. And
Yes,
literally,
dude.
they-
Oh, my God.
they run the intro. And the first thing in my friend's mouth goes, he goes, "When was the last time you shit your pants?" Like, just immediately.
Well, we are going to
What
talk
a
about
coincidence.
this.
I know.
That's one of the questions we're going to ask.
Believe
you
me,
guys.
I've read the show description. I've listened to the show.
That's
All right.
today. I'm going to serve myself one of these crown crabs. Crown cran.
Dude, it's called a Washington apple. That's the name of the fucking drink.
Who's the bartender here?
Him.
Me. Me, baby. Me.
Who actually had that as a profession?
Who can go suck a dick?
I mean, I could. Doesn't mean I'm going to. So
I'm playing.
Because I'm a goddamn
Yeah,
patriot. That's
right.
all.
I'm a patriot. I'm doing for in the name of America. I'm not gonna do that.
Or maybe I am.
Or maybe I am.
I mean,
in
what's,
the name
you know,
of
whatever.
America. I don't know. Depends on how you feel about America.
Let's not make
And
it
dicks.
The
weird.
Russians say we can't suck dicks, and I say fuck you. I'm a patriot. Goddamn it.
Oh, Jesus Christ. Are we filming right now?
Yes, we are.
Oh,
and welcome
Jesus.
back to the Go
Yeah,
Deeper
yeah.
podcast, everybody. This is episode, I fucking forget, 20-something. More than
22?
22.
Is it 22?
Is it? No. No.
Was 21 with them or was 21 with Alec?
I don't know. It's either 22 or 23.
Something.
I don't
Okay.
know.
We should have a lot more.
We should have a
considering
lot
we've been
more.
doing this for like 2 years.
It's
so.
been 22 is Alec. Welcome to episode Michael Jordan, baby. This is episode 23. You know what I'm saying? If you think it's episode LeBron James, you're wrong because that sucks. Today,
And just like we were talking about before, he's doing a bunch of shit and like leaning out from the
I
microphone.
know I'm trying to make space for it. Anyways, sorry about that. Today we have a very special guest, don't we, Matt? Would you do me the honors of please introducing our special guest from today?
Well, you're better at the intros. I am not
Okay,
good at this shit.
I'm
so.
gonna just keep talking then, because when I start talking, that's rambling, and then we keep rolling. Our special guest today from the Haunts, Graves and Omens podcast. He traveled very, very far, many, many miles. My buddy Fred, the second best half of the Haunts and the Graves Omens.
Get the second best.
I'm just playing. I'm just saying that because Taylor couldn't make it out, but
Yeah.
it's a two-person podcast, and it's fucking badass. You guys should go fucking check it out. It's one
Is
of
she
my
real?
top.
Or
I mean,
is she a
I'm-
ghost just talking into
Oh,
like
dude, that'd be fucking awesome. you know how stoked I'd be.
I'm convinced she is.
Matt just
That's
like, is she real? And I'm
is
like,
she real
the
or is she
walls
just a
start to
ghost?
Fade, the straight
Yeah.
jacket starts to appear, and I'm like, oh shit!
And you're like, hit record.
Right?
No, but they could find your podcast on all.
Yeah,
all
everything.
social
Spotify,
media.
Apple Podcasts. I mean, wherever you get podcasts.
And you guys are
yeah.
audio. You're
Yeah.
strictly audio.
Yeah.
And it sounds good. It sounds better than ours, and I'm trying to
They
figure
have
out.
we were just talking about how he has a voice for radio.
Yes, that's
and
what
then
it
he
is.
actually did a radio voice. It was great.
And I'm over here trying to scramble, like, do it again. I'm trying to record this. Dude, hell yeah, bro. I was gonna ask you because I listened to your podcast and it sounds really good. Do you, after you record, do you enhance the audio again?
We do master it, yeah.
Okay.
We actually have a program that auto masters it, and it's
Oh,
fantastic.
that's
It
good.
just
Pass me the link to
if you
that.
listen to like the first beginning episodes, it's kind of rough, and then after a while, it starts to have this more full sound and like tough sound. I mean, more thick. Basically,
That's actually exactly
you know?
what I told him because when
Yes.
I
Yeah.
heard when he said that he found you on it was on Facebook
I
or
think
something
Yeah.
like
that's
that.
such weird.
And
it's
he
such a
told
weird
me
thing the way I found you because I think
Yeah.
we were friends already, but
Yeah,
I don't
we
know
were.
how.
Yeah.
How the hell
I don't
were
know.
friends?
We probably met at a show at some point.
I have no idea, but
We
then
don't-
I saw you
yeah.
do a post, and I'm like, that's kind of funny. I went to
And
your page,
so
I'm like, this guy's awesome.
I went back. I went back and I listened to like your guys' first like 2 or 3 episodes.
Yeah.
And then I was like, well, I'll just fast forward and I'll go to like episode 20 and then I'll go to like episode 30 and then
Yeah.
like I went on like this binger for going for a while.
It's
like I was like, oh
Yeah.
man, this
Their
is
show
good.
is really easy listening. It's a good.
It is
podcast to
really
listen to.
good, yeah.
It's fucking badass.
That's what we aspire to have.
You gotta
is
check
that.
it out, Ari. Today we don't got profiles with us because he got sick. I was gonna say a dumb illness, but that's to people who have that illness. Profiles are sick today. Today we're stepping in. We got Ari on the camera duty.
Hell yeah!
That was,
But
yeah, we have a lot of fun with that podcast. It's something I really wanted to get into because I didn't really know what I wanted to talk about, but I know I like aliens, cryptids, ghosts.
And that's what's so cool because it's informative, but you guys make it fun. Like you like act a lot of stuff out and go like on these little tangents, and it's great.
I live for the
dude.
tangents,
it's so
bro.
good.
I live for the tangents and I live for the voices.
Right? Yeah, you start getting into your voices and like your different accents and stuff, and I'm like, oh, dude, these are so good.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know, it's I like because I've done like acting and stuff in the past, and like the improv of like yes and I was like I mean even off mic I'm the same fucking person, like I'm just like I'm just telling a joke, trying to make something funny, so no matter what we're covering I'm like, what can I make fun of?
Right, dude, and we do the same thing. It's just we're I mean, we do a lot more vulgar and stuff. But
the thing that kind of makes me pump my brakes is his mom watches the podcast sometimes.
Oh, God.
And she gives us notes. She's like, you guys should not be that vulgar. And I'm like,
if you guys weren't as vulgar, I mean, the language isn't horrible, but if you guys were a little less vulgar, I could listen to it. And I'm like, well, Mom, like, I'm just letting you know we're kind of doing it for a generation, a little younger than you. Like, you know what I mean?
Matt does that, and Monica goes, how about Spanish?
Yeah, right. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, how did you like our semi-spooky looking entryway into this? Like, you're like, dude, I'm going to die when you're walking down the stairs to come in here, and then you get in there, and it's like, oh, cool little podcast.
The best way you can describe it is Texas Chainsaw Massacre meets HGTV, where it's like, it's like...
He just got hard and spit.
I got him. You walk in, and you're like, oh, I really like my kidneys, and then you're like, oh, it is nice in here.
Right,
It's a multi-bedroom sectional, and they have this nice walls. And you're like, oh, fuck yeah, dude.
That's actually...
Cool. That's super accurate.
Some people have guns. Our security system is, I'm not going in there.
Well, let's just put it this way. Like, I worked at the like shittiest shithole dive bar in Southern California, and their bathroom wasn't as bad as that one. So you know what I mean? It's like, I mean, I feel like I'm gonna get murdered in that bathroom every time I go there.
You could have like a home security system where it's it's like state of the art, or you can just do, hey boy, like that's gonna totally change someone's mind.
Yep. I saw you on the camera. You got a purty mouth.
Say one time as loud as you can.
Don't you worry now. I ain't calling the police because the police don't know you're here. Right. And then the banjo music starts.
and then the door shuts behind you and it locks. And you're just
the garage door just starts closing down.
Fucking lights dim down. Round one, fight. And you're like, what the fuck?
Yep. And then once you pass the fucking Karate Kid, you come inside the door to the podcast, and it's fucking all. Then once you get in here, it's pretty cool.
Then it's very inviting. And the moment I walked in here, though, I was like, yeah, fuck yeah, man, this is a fucking bitchin' studio. You got your logo.
We have this like taped up fireplace right here.
It is a fireplace. If it works or not, I don't know. We just taped it up and don't ask questions because it gets drafty.
Yeah, it does get drafty.
And
we probably open that up and it would cool down.
That's what I'm saying. I'm like, actually, I'm taking the motherfucker off again. And before you leave, we're gonna have you sign the wall too.
Oh, for sure, I'm ready.
We'll leave that closed. There's stuff in there.
Yeah,
there's paint in there.
It's a voodoo rituals and children's bones and stuff. Don't worry about it. Don't look in there.
Yeah, just some animal bones and stuff.
It's like that one saloon in the UK. Get some shit in there. I don't know, man. I know a lot of fucking ghost hunting.
It was like that one you were talking about, the McMenamin's Grand Lodge.
Oh yeah,
how they had like they find the animal bones that were like placed out
in
a
the
certain
pentagram.
way. Yeah, in the pentagram, and that it's no
room. Fuck, I forget room 215 or something.
Yeah. I think it was room 215. Yeah, something like that.
Which, by the way, that's like 10 minutes away. We could go there. Not today. Maybe not tomorrow.
Dude, that place.
Maybe you could go there and tell me how it goes.
I go by there all the time. That place.
Yeah, so do I.
Yeah. It's on the way to Hag.
Wait a minute.
That's a Grand Lodge.
You're thinking about
the other one.
I'm thinking about Edgefield.
Yeah. I'm thinking about Grand Lodge because Grand Lodge I pass it all the time. Like, actually, I was really pissed off because they had an iration show there and I didn't get to go. And I found out because I saw a bunch of people walking in there while I was on my way to the lake, and I was like, "What the fuck?" And I looked at it, and I was like, "Iration? Jesus Christ! If I would have known."
That's exactly what happened. I think I was telling them on the podcast last time. I missed Sugar Ray. Yeah, Edgefield.
Yeah.
What the fuck, man? Right. I just want to fly too.
But yeah, no, I really. So I want to. I want to kind of dive into like the whole like paranormal like you guys actually go out and do paranormal research and
dude, investigations,
investigations, bro.
Yeah, like
I don't know. I'm very curious about all that because I've always wanted to do it, but I'm not the most knowledgeable. He knows a lot more about it than I do.
I know a lot about it, but I lack the experience of going out and doing it. But
God, I've always wanted to do it.
It's fun. It's it gets really scary sometimes. Obviously.
That's what I love.
I mean, yeah. I mean, you know,
I need more shit stories, dude. So I got to shit my pants, bro.
What a coincidence.
Yeah, I know. We've been in some incredible places. We've been first investigators in places before. We've had opportunities that only like network TV ghost hunters have done. Yeah. We've been up and down the West Coast so many times ghost hunting. I've lost track at this point.
See, and that's the thing is I've been to a lot of places that are supposedly like they've never been investigated because no one really knew about them.
Yeah,
like the bar I used to work at. We had another bar that was across the street. And
Here
supposedly,
or California?
In California.
Oh.
And supposedly the owner like killed his wife and then like blew his brains out and all kinds of other stuff. Mm-hmm. And like there's a picture my buddy took while we were helping them clean it out and everything. And he's like going up into this like attic space. And there's he took a picture of like to show like how much we've cleaned and everything.
Yeah.
And there's a woman's face. That looks
it
looks like it's in smoke, but there was no smoke, there was no dust. It wasn't like it was just a woman's face. It was the craziest thing. I wish I still had the picture. I could show it to you, but I've done that.
To you.
I've been to like abandoned buildings and all kinds of like I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, we've been firsthand in some places that people have never been in. One of the places actually can become quite popular. It's called Ravens Manor. It's out here in Portland. It's a Victorian style restaurant / bar. It's like mid-level dining. They'll like light candles at your table, but It's all Victorian spooky, right?
Is that one that where they like really play off of that now?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. I've always wanted to go there.
It's that place looks fantastic. The owners are great people. I love them to death. But we had the opportunity to go ghost hunting in there, and I've been in that building quite a bit. But it's also connected to the Shanghai tunnels. Yeah. Which is notorious, right?
Yeah.
Notorious for hauntings and everything. And when we went in there and investigated that night, I mean, it was weird. I've had stuff happen to me that's never happened before. Like I was emotionally, I don't know if attacked is the right word, but overcome by something.
Overwhelmed, maybe?
Yeah. Like I had my hair pulled, and then I got pissed off because I had my hair pulled by something, so I started challenging whatever was pulling my hair, which is something that I recommend not doing.
Yeah.
When I bring people on, I go, if some things are going to happen, but the best thing is to go, please don't do that. You know, I'm not okay with that. Yeah, but instead, I was like, fuck you. You know, you come out here and fight me, like I'm ready to go.
Straight back. Like I should mode.
I threw my. I mean, I have the whole video of it. I threw my camera down and I was like, what are you going to do now? Huh? It's just me and you. So what do you want to do? And then all of a sudden, it was just this wave of like, just dread and emotion, and I just could not stop crying. And it was so bad they had to pull me outside. Until I was outside, then I was like, "Oh my god, I'm back!" You know, and so I went back in, and our medium, who was with us, was like, she was upset because she thinks you were trying to attack her. Because she doesn't know who you are, and I'm like, we're just here to figure out if you're okay. You know? My whole goal going into a place when I bring in mediums or other researchers, and I go like, if we do make contact, my main question is, do you want to leave? Yeah. And if so, we're gonna try to help you leave from here. That's all. That's all I've ever wanted.
Like move on.
Yeah, we want to maintain the history and maintain the legacy of this building and keep everything original, even if not even repair some things that are broken. And then, if we do encounter spirits, like let's get you to where you want to go if we can.
That's so cool.
And if you want, some people don't want to. Some spirits are good.
Yeah. Some spirits are real pissed.
Yeah.
Real pissed. Yeah. I've had stuff thrown at me more times than I can count, and they really get real mad. Yeah.
God, I want to do that so bad.
Fuck, man.
We'll just wait till this summer when it's warm again.
That's what he was telling me. Yeah. He was like, I'm down for winter stuff, dude. I like the cold.
I've been investigating since about 13 years technically.
So how much of it is actually just sitting and waiting? Or is it stuff that happens like, do you go in there and it's like, have you been to places where it's like instantly you walk in and it's like, holy shit? Or is it like there's times when you have to wait hours?
Like easy into it? Or
It depends basically on location to location. more often than not, it's walking in basically in a blind, not knowing what you're looking for, especially if it's the first time location.
Yeah.
You're not knowing what you're expecting. You've maybe read up on it, read the legends, and you're kind of like, oh, okay, so now I know that there's a spirit of a miner with no face, and he'll pop up out of the woods or whatever. Who cares? But like, he's out here and he's like, my face, and like, you're like, oh shit, fuck your face.
Yeah.
But it's more often than not, you walk in, have no idea what's about to happen, and then you kind of just roll with the punches, and then you kind of start figuring stuff out, and you kind of start dodging those punches as they come your way, right? Okay. But if you've been in a place where you've been in before or know real well, the layout, the legends, the ghosts, you can pretty much get a reaction pretty much immediately if you know what you're doing.
No way.
Yeah.
That's so cool.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know, because I don't know if I'm like sensitive to it or not, but when you go into places like I said, we were cleaning out that bar, instantly when you walk in there, I get like a vibe. I don't know how to explain it, but I get that energy. Vibe, like it's that energy. I can feel it, and I'm like, I shouldn't be here.
Yeah.
And like that's how I felt the whole entire time cleaning out that place. Every time I've gone there, because now it's a reputable bar.
Yeah.
Like it's like a really well-known place in the area, and every time I go in, I'm like, no, I shouldn't be here.
Let me ask you a question. Is it like a staticky, almost like dazed feeling when you walk in?
A little bit, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. And it's weird because normally I go in there and then I'm having a couple drinks to make myself like mellow out.
Yeah.
And it doesn't help.
But what does that mean if you walk in and it's kind of like a hazy kind
of? So I'm less of the spiritual kind of ghost hunter, more of the scientific kind of ghost hunter, where I want like data and facts to bring things up. But there's these things that I've talked to with actual researchers. I don't know if you guys know who Jeff Davis is. He's a renowned author, paranormal investigator out here. He's been on everything, every ghost hunting show that's ever come through this area or in Washington, Oregon. He's pretty much been on it. He's
Jeff Davis.
He's a fantastic author. Go check out his books. They're fucking.
I'm gonna have to check them out now.
Fantastic, and they're nice to read. They're not like, well, the quantum physics. Blah, blah, blah. No, it's like, here's a ghost. Here's the legends. Here's what happened when I went there. Like stuff like that.
If it's an audiobook, I can listen to it while I drive. So that's all I do anyway. So
but the whole idea is that there's these energy fields that kind of move around, right? So there's kind of in different kind of sets. There's portals that are physical, stuck in place locations. Say like in an insane asylum, it's going to be maybe in the solitary confinement cells where a lot of traumatic things have happened. Enough energy manifests, boom, portals there forever, unless it's closed by some sort of witchcraft or what have you. And spirits can come in and out of there, interact with people, right? Or there's these energy masses that we're not quite sure why they pop up or how they move, but they physically move. Meaning like it's a fucking wall. And it's just there. My one story I'll tell was that I have a coworker who came up to me, because all my coworkers come up to me and go like, I have ghost stuff happening. Can you come check it out? Of course. And I do all my ghost hunting stuff for free. I never charge anybody.
That's fucking awesome.
That's so
never
cool.
give my services of cleansing for buildings, whether it's the white wick and witchcraft that we use, or sage, or spiritual protection via Catholicism items. It doesn't matter. It's all free because I'm there to learn about what's happening, to try to better understand
because you enjoy it.
Yes.
This is what you want to do.
Yeah, I like helping people, and I like understanding what's happening.
Yeah.
Right.
And then doing this, you get a little bit of both. You help people out, and you're like, okay, well, what's actually going on over here?
So
cool.
Her house or apartment that she lived in was a 2-story apartment. It was a 2-bedroom that was, or 3-bedroom on top. The stairs that come down to the right, come in. There's a dining room, come in, and there's a little hallway, and there's like kind of like that kitchen with like a little opening around the sides, so you can see into the kitchen, right? You kind of go out. There's a living room, the front door. Now there's that section between the living room and the dining room, right? Well, it's a hallway that's probably no more than, I would say, 10, 15 feet, maybe, right? Mm-hmm. And for whatever reason, their dog would put its tail between its legs, lower its ears, look around, and then scuttle past it like something was like, scaring it.
Oh, yeah.
Only in that spot.
Yeah.
But, and then, of course, it would run up to me and be all excited and be like, oh, new person, you're cool, I'll hang out with you, And then I would hold onto their favorite toy, walk through that section, stand in the dining room, be like, come get your toy. And the dog would run up and literally just stop on that line that separates it.
What?
And then it would look around, and then it would run to me, grab its toy, happy, good to go again, do it reversed, same thing. So I said, well, let's take it upstairs and see if it does the same thing in the same spot. Sure as shit, gets to the top of the stairs, which is right where that line is, doesn't want to go. So I go and I walk.
And that's the same, like downstairs.
It's linear. It's linear. It's perfectly linear. And it was like, okay, so what else is happening? Because they were saying like, oh, our dog does this and we get some weird feelings, which is like, okay, everybody gets weird feelings in their house sometimes. But like, what exactly is happening? And they go, well, her son was, I think he's like 4 or 5 or something like that. She was going to the bathroom, comes back out, and her son is standing in the hallway. And he's like, hey, little motherfucker, like, go to bed. Like, it's the middle of fucking night. What are you doing? Like, why are you being creepy? And he runs into her room, and she's like, God damn it. All right. So he, like, goes in there, like, what the fuck? He's not in here. And so she turns around, goes in his room, and he's still asleep. And I was like, so you saw the manifestation of a child
impersonating a child.
Impersonating a child, exactly, because we don't actually know if it's an actual child or not. Yeah. And she was like, well, how do we stop this from happening? And I'm like, maybe we could put up religious items, because she is Catholic, and I was like, we put up religious items. We could do, like prayers, cleansing, and stuff like that.
Thing always freaks me out.
Yeah, it's creepy, man.
It always freaks me out.
Well, you want to hear a really creepy children's story?
Haven't you had some stuff with
I got
your
2 kids. They creep me out.
No, but haven't you had like creepy stuff with them? Like where they?
Yes, that's why it's weird that I've told it on this podcast, I think once before, but we sleep, me and my lady, we sleep with our doors open and the kids' doors open because you can hear them, because that's just me being paranoid and shit. We both hear from, and my bed is really close to our doorway that leads to the hallway that leads to their room. What sounds like a kid standing in our doorway facing us saying, Mom. And we both hear it because Lupita goes, what? And I thought there's going to be a response, and there's no response. What? And I look, nothing's there. I'm like, the fuck? And she's like, go check on them. Okay. I get up. Both kids are passed out, son. And I was like,
interesting.
I think I came back and I had to tell Lupita a little lie. I was like, his head hurts. But because she freaks out. She gets really bad panic attacks and anxiety attacks. So I kind of I'm the one that has to kind of bring her down a little bit. But see, that was a hard one for me.
I've never had anything like that. The only thing I ever had is I got my 2 little girls, and I had the little one. She walked up to me middle of the night, and she was like standing right in front of my face, and I didn't wake up from her saying something. I woke up with her standing there. I almost knocked her the fuck out. So just saying, like, that's the only thing I've ever had. But it was real. She was there. Like it was like it wasn't. But yeah, I almost knocked out my kid. Like that's,
you almost sent her to swipe or no swiping.
Dude, yeah, right. Yeah.
I mean, even entities disguising themselves as children's terrifying. Yeah. But not only that, but actual children's spirits are really terrifying. Like regular children's spirits, like not like actual demonic entities or entities hiding themselves.
Like children who have passed.
Well, see, and that's the thing is, I watched.
They can get real creepy.
Well, the one that got me most like intrigued by all this stuff was I was actually watching, and it was a show on like MTV back in the day, and they sent people. It wasn't Cribs, but they sent people with cameras. They'd put them in, and they were like normal people.
Yeah.
And they would send them into these haunted places to make them do a investigation. And they're people that don't know what the fuck is up. Like they just teach them how to use the equipment, send them in. And they went to this children's hospital, and they were like trying to get a reaction from them. And this guy like literally rolls a ball down the hallway, and the ball like. You know what a ball going down the hallway is. It loses momentum super fast and then comes right back at him.
Nice.
And the hallway's not tilted. It's a flat hallway, and it's on camera and it's like, oh, that was rad. And I got like super into it, and I'm like, oh my God, this place is really haunted. And the people there were like freaking out. And this one girl, she had like some other thing happen to her. Like she got all emotional and like couldn't control herself. And I'm like, I want to do this. Like, I want to go there. I want to check it out. This would be so much fun. I want to go
so
But it
bad.
still freaks me out at the same time because it was kids. And I was like, it's really sad. And I probably would cry too. But, yeah.
My thing is I can't. And I'm a fucking bitch. And it's probably not going to happen. But my biggest fear is something attaching itself to me.
Yeah.
And this is what we've talked about because we were going to ask you. That's like our main question that we wanted to ask you was about that whole.
I mean, I got a million questions, but that's one of my big ones. And he answered it when I went over there a little bit. your lady, she does Wiccan stuff, right?
Yeah.
And then she gives you some stones or what
yeah, she believes in like, I mean, she's a white Wiccan, so she believes in like crystals and spells and stuff like that. And meanwhile, I'm like, I don't really know, but I mean, it's not going to hurt to throw it in my pocket just in case it does work.
Right.
You know, might as well.
Like, I agree. What's the worst that's going to happen?
I'm not losing points by bringing it. You know,
right.
I do my stuff through a very kind of weird way where people will often when they need spiritual protection from something, they'll call upon a deity or a god or what have you for that faith and that strength to go through something terrifying. And I'm not Catholic, but I find solace in St. Michael the Archangel, right? Yeah. He's this big-ass dude. He's got a big-ass sword, and he's like, oh, you're a demon? You're done. And so
as
whenever...
a fellow Catholic, go fucking St. Michael.
Right.
Like,
fantastic.
Honestly, straight up. We got my dad, super Mexican, super Catholic, statues of St. Michael in the house.
You still have weird shit happening here. So good.
Well, this is down here. This is not the house.
I mean, I do have a weird story involving St. Michael in a way.
Please. Please. Maybe my dad will watch the show.
Yeah, another one of my coworkers had called and was like, my apartment's having weird stuff happen. It's been ongoing for a couple months. I've tried to diagnose it, trying to figure out what's happening. I'm not sure why it's happening. So can you come check it out? And he lived like 5 minutes away, so I said, sure, why not? So I drove over, and I brought one of my investigators who he believes in the paranormal, believes in all the weird stuff that we do, but he's not afraid of anything, which is the best. Like, I've literally been in a cemetery that was like 5-6 acres, sent him off by himself into the dark, and then I go, and I see him with the flashlight in his camera, and he's like, and then it like turns off, and I'm like, oh, so he's gonna like set up in the dark and all that stuff. So I'm like, hey, Edwin, you good? And he's like, my camera turned off, my flashlight won't turn on, but yeah. And I was like,
but we Gucci though.
Yeah, I was like, you want to come back? And he's like, no, I think we'll just hang out for a little bit. I'm like, you're so far away from us,
Jesus Christ,
and you're in the dark by yourself with who knows what that's drawing your fucking batteries away from you, you know. But I bring him in, and we go up to the house, and like guy answers. The moment you walk in, I talked about that staticky feeling, that weird feeling. And I start getting that immediately. But I'm like, and I've done this so long that I can almost use like a radar and pinpoint where it is, right? So I'm kind of wandering in, and then I'm like, oh, it's gonna be located in the bedroom, but where in the bedroom? And I'm like, I feel like it's the closet. I feel like it's the closet's where this thing is coming out of, but why? Because there's not a lot of stuff in the closet, because usually it can be attached to an object or a piece of clothing or a photo. It doesn't matter. It's something that's attached to. But I was like, there's not really a lot in there, so what could it be? And I start running my equipment, and our EMF detectors start going off the fucking charts. Like immediately the moment we walk in there, I go, okay, I can explain this in the fact that they're
force.
Yes, thank you.
Thank you.
And for the people watching that, don't know.
Electromagnetic force. Yes.
Yeah.
The everything has electromagnetic force. These have it. The cameras have it. The mics have it. Everything has it.
Yeah.
Right. And it starts going off. So I can explain it. Maybe go, okay, maybe there's wiring that runs through it. Maybe there's whatever. Because I can usually explain that away. But when we went back in there, it didn't go back off. Okay,
that's where it gets hard to explain, because why isn't it here now? Why isn't it here now when it was here earlier? That debunks it being something in the walls, because if it was here earlier, not now.
That's one thing I love about the way you go about it, and your whole thing about it is like, if it can be explained scientifically, like if it can be explained by wiring in the wall or then that's the explanation. It's not like you're going to go some far-fetched like, oh, well, you know, it's right here, and there's like a big old
and it's always here.
Like, you poke a hole in the wall, there's just all the wiring of the house is like right there.
I have your demon. It's this shitty wiring.
Right here, yes. And it might be a demon. Fuck, dude. They could be really messing with the people, you know, but no, I like the way you go about it like that, because that's how I would look at it. If it's something that can be explained, there's no mystery to it.
Exactly.
It's just, that's it.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You know, I mean,
that's what we really strive for, is to find the actual truth if possible.
Yeah.
But we noticed that we weren't getting a response, and so we started running devices. Spirit Box SB7, it basically runs through radio signals rapidly, basically at a pace of like dot 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 dot. You know, we run even faster. So there's no reason that, because that's basically you turning a dial on a radio, right?
Yeah.
So there's no reason you should get an actual response. right? So I asked, like, who's here, and it said like the devil, like right behind it, and I'm like, oh, so you're the devil, really? You're the devil's living in a 1-bedroom apartment, like I don't think so.
Man, you've really gone downhill.
I don't think so. I think you're trying to scare us, and so we start trying to because it was my buddy, his girlfriend, and his son, right? So we brought like him and his son in, and we started getting responses, and then they left, and then we brought the girlfriend in, weren't getting any responses. So we brought the son in, we're getting no responses. Brought my buddy in, and started getting all the responses again. So then because I'm like, clearly I'm pissing off whatever's in here. So I'm going to kind of back up, but I'm going to be within earshot. I'm going to write down every response out of the spirit box, every question, every timestamp. That way we know, we can look back later and be like, okay, so you got this response this fast, that. So I'm within earshot, and I start to light the candles of like the Virgin Mary, Jesus, Saint Michael the Archangel, right? Yeah. And all they're like them facing the room, right? And around the same time, around then, I was like, doing like the same, like I was doing Saint Michael's prayer, putting crosses up, basically trying to ward off anything, trying to get any kind of response to see if it'd piss off. Because if it's an actual demonic entity, it's gonna hate the fact that we're doing that, But we weren't really getting anything other than like, I'm the devil, blah, 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 which is like definitely not the actual devil.
The devil doesn't have to say, I'm the devil.
No, he just kind of shows up. He doesn't care.
The devil doesn't tell you, Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
And 99% of the time, if something says it's the devil, it's not.
Yeah.
And I'm sitting there writing stuff, and his girlfriend and his son are on the couch watching TV right behind me. And his son kind of starts making like the little kid whining noise. I'm like, meh. Pointing at me, and I'm like, what? And he goes, kukui.
Oh, I know.
And
I
know what that means too.
Kukui. And I go, what do you mean kukui? And he's pointing at me, and he goes, kukui. And I go, me? And he goes, no. And I pointed the Virgin Mary and go, kukui. He goes, no. I go, kukui? Jesus? No. Saint Michael? I'm like, kukui? He goes, yeah. So I turn it around, and he fucking goes, whoomp, and starts watching TV again. And I go, why'd you call Saint Michael kukui? He's a good guy. And he's like, I don't know what you're talking about. And I was like, fuck.
What? The
like, fuck. So like what is starting to affect him that's now trying to freak me out? Because clearly, because even my buddy's like girlfriend was like, what the fuck? Like I was like, this is fucked up, dude. And we I'm like, oh, now I gotta really go in like hard. Because usually I'm a very very neutral ghost hunter where I'm like not gonna challenge anything. I'm trying to get a response out of you, but I don't want to. I don't want to get a rise out of you.
There's a difference between trying to get a response and provoking.
Yeah, exactly. And I'm not trying to provoke anything, right? But then I walk in and I'm like, all right, motherfucker, now it's time to party. Because clearly you want my attention because you just did that shit to me. So let's find out who you really are. So I'm like throwing holy water. I'm like running sage. I mean, I'm doing fucking witchcraft. I'm doing everything to like ward off. And I'm like, we're going to wear you down enough until I get an actual response from you. Like who you really are. And it goes on and on and on. And then the spirit box says something. And my buddy just goes sheet white and goes, sounds like my dad. Because his dad had passed 5 years prior to that. And his dad was a fucking dick to him, I guess. Like, he used to beat the fuck out of him. Hated, never got along. And he's like, sounds like my dad. And he just kept saying, devil, devil, devil. And I was like, who's the devil? And then it said...
the spirit box?
Yeah. And it was like, who's the devil? And it said his girlfriend's name. And I was like, oh, that's fucking weird. Because she, according to her, she had never experienced anything. Right, which is usually the case when there's something attacking everybody else, trying to fucking scare everybody off, and they're like trying to separate, whatever. And I was like, man, I don't really know how to help you with that, because if it's your dad, we can try to ward it away. But I mean, if he's got a strong enough fucking hold on you, dude, we're gonna need to bump this up a couple notches. Like we're gonna need to go to a Catholic church, and we're gonna need to do like a rite of exorcism, and which are not really that fun, and all this shit. And like 3 months later, he comes into work and he's like, yeah, so she got arrested. What? And I was like, what? And he goes, yeah, she tried to fucking stab me in my sleep. And he had to like fight against her. And so I don't know where she's at now. Probably still fucking locked up. But yeah.
That's attempted murder. You don't just get let back out for that.
So we went back to his house after that because he was going to move. And I said, I want to see if like this shit's still happening. And we got a response again. And it was from what he said, it sounded just like his dad, and he just kept saying, "You're safe, you're safe, you're safe, you're safe," and that's all he would say. And I was like, "What the fuck, dude?" so okay. Like, what
so
is
she
this?
really was the problem?
Yeah.
Yeah, but his dad was trying to protect him, basically.
Yeah.
So the guy who was saying devil, devil, devil wasn't saying I'm the devil.
He's saying that she's the devil.
Mm-hmm. A la verga.
Yeah.
So wild.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Yeah, dude. I mean, it's just, I don't know. Spirits will act in different ways, and they're fucking weird when they do it.
Tell me you don't want to do some shit like that. I mean,
stab somebody? Yeah, I mean, I'm
no.
I mean, yeah. Listen, that's the Southeast Portland way. Yeah. You know,
we're in Gresham. That's normal day to day stuff. Yeah. I meant like the actual paranormal part of that. Dude, that'd be so fun.
Yeah.
You 13 years you've been doing this for the give or take 13 years.
Yeah.
You have yet to have something follow you.
Oh, that's absolutely not true. I've had stuff follow me all the time. Yeah.
You're making me not want to go.
Well, that's the unfortunate part of this is it's
like
unknown
the unfortunate
science.
reality, right?
Yeah. Yeah, it's an unknown science. We really, in all reality, don't really know what we're fucking with. You know? We can't see it more often than not, and we don't know what its intentions are. I mean, just like any other human, you never know what their intentions are. You know, you can meet.
That's true.
It's like, I mean, look at any serial killer on the planet. You know, they're like, oh, he was a nice guy, except he just wore people's faces. Like, you know,
no big deal.
Yeah, it's no big deal.
It was all cool until he wore Phil. Like then,
yeah.
Oh, I miss Phil.
So you never really know what you're dealing with, and sometimes shit follows you home. And I've had stuff follow me home. I've had stuff attached to other people that was bad enough that we had to go and actually do a rite of exorcism. And after that rite of exorcism, I promised myself and anyone else that I bring on investigation or put on my team that I was like, we're gonna do our best to prevent that from happening. Because when that happened, it's because I was trying to get shit to happen. Mm-hmm. I was actively calling out, being like, up here, do something. You're going to throw shit at me? Then it'd be better show up.
You take better precautions now and all that stuff. Oh, wow.
Yeah.
I feel like that's the only way I would be able to do it.
Yeah.
That's the only way.
Because I want to do, the thing is like, if I was to go do it, I want to do it strictly like, I'm not going for crazy reactions. I want to go for research. I want to go because
I want to document.
Interesting, and I want to document it, and I think it'd be really cool. I don't need a bunch of crazy shit to happen for that to be for me to research it.
It'd be cool to document it, though.
I mean, a lot of times. Well, the thing for me, like I said, when I wanted to get into it, the first time I ever saw it was after that MTV show, and we went to there was like a old. They said it was a sane asylum or whatever. Mm-hmm. It was something like that, or a hospital or whatever it was, which we didn't know. It was just an abandoned building in Lake Elsinore, California. That's all I'm going to say about where it is. But we went to this building and like we walked around and it like there was a bunch of creepy stuff and I had that weird vibes and like it was just cool. For me, it was cool being there. We didn't have cameras. We didn't have anything. It was just like four of us walking through it. Yeah. And it was like the sketchiest thing, but we were just trying to be present in like, I want to feel if anything's here. I want to see if something talks to me and there was a couple little weird shits that happened, but it wasn't like, you know, what everybody expects.
That is one of my favorite things about ghost hunting is being in a place and having that lull moment of like, you know, maybe you've gotten some activity, maybe some things have happened, and then you kind of get that lull moment where nothing's going to happen for a little while, but you don't really unsure, so you're kind of sitting in the dark waiting, and that kind of peaceful calm comes over the top of you, and you're like, I'm in a building that was built in the 1800s. Yeah. The bar next to me is from fucking 1812, and I'm touching it. Like, you can see all the dinks, all the fucking scratches from bar glasses being broken off of it, and all the fights and shit, and all this crazy shit this thing is seeing, you know? Like, all the good, all the bad, and you're like, man, this is incredible. Like, from a history standpoint, it's fantastic. And then you snap back to reality, and you're like, oh, I'm in a fucking dark-ass building, and there's probably a demon, like, crawling on the ceiling above me, and you're just like...
You're over here taking in the moment, the demon's looking down at you like, this motherfucker.
Right. So I have to ask, because we're getting kind of deep in here. We've been doing all... In true Go Deeper podcast, form... We need to ask, okay? Do you have any poop stories.
Oh,
and it could be a paranormal poop would be like magical.
Paranormal poop.
Do you have like a ghost that shits on people or something, or like?
And given
or
that he's
smells
in
like shit, like it puts out into the air.
Given that he's getting the shit scared out of him every time he goes investigating, I'm sure he has to have.
Or have you ever been out investigating and then like, dude, you just like had to go?
Oh, yeah.
It's like, dude, and you're like in an abandoned building. And
this
like,
plumbing is from the 1800s. I don't know if it's gonna withstand this Taco Bell burrito.
I mean,
and you leave your mark in the building.
I'm adding to the history, motherfucker.
Yeah, I mean, I have some like paranormal shitting stories when I was on an investigation. We gotta go, you gotta go. Like we did the Ravens Manor, right, where I talked about it, where it's just this nice Victorian style restaurants in downtown Portland. It's fantastic, but their bathrooms are obviously open for the staff and everybody to use throughout the investigation. But they're also like haunted themed. So you go to the men's bathroom and there's like blood smears and shit on the walls, and it's a red lighting, and there's like little speakers with like voices talking. It's supposed to be, you know, spooky and scary. Gotcha. Nothing is scarier than you just watch some shit go down that you don't know how to explain other than your medium saying, yeah, it was a demon manifesting, blah, blah, blah. And you're like, okay. And you're like, so I got to go take a shit real quick. And so you're like kind of half on the fucking seat. And you're like, dude, if some shit pops off right, if this fucking stall opens, I'm gone. Right. Like,
I'm shitting the whole way out, just leaving a trail.
No, like no wipe city, we're going. Like
no wipe city,
bro. Like we're
gonna air dry.
Yeah, dude.
Some people water bidet, I air dry.
Yeah. Or being in a rural location up in Washington that was really old, creepy cemetery that we were actually in the process of like trying to map out because there was graves that weren't marked, but they're very, very clearly graves. I mean, it's an old cemetery. It's very old. But it's super weird. I don't really know how to describe it. It's just in a weird spot. I don't know. It's odd. But like, I was like, dude, I gotta fucking shit. And I was like, okay, do we drive like 15 minutes? Because my grandparents' house, like they live down there, and I was like, I could just fucking go into over there and do that. I was like,
bushwhack.
Like I'm not gonna make it, dude. Mm-hmm. And so I was like, I'm gonna have to like go into the forest in the dark, not knowing what's out
next
here.
To the cemetery.
Yeah, next to the cemetery, and you're like, hope this isn't somebody's like final resting place. Like, this is gonna be such bad karma when you're holding onto a branch because you can kind of get a lean to it, and you're like, this branch.
Found out the hard way that holding on while shitting in the bush is a better way to go.
Yeah,
just trying to.
Oh, you laying an egg in your pants? Yeah, setting up a fucking nest in there. Yeah, dude, it's happened. But I mean, I don't know. I've shit my pants.
The description even already says, did laying an egg, making a nest in your pants. I just thought, yeah, he got me too. I was just like, oh god. I'm just picturing it because I've done it.
Yeah. Dude, it happens. Bad, you know?
Okay, if I ever go hunting, 2 precautions. 1, obviously take big precautions to, nothing follows you home.
Yeah.
2,
diaper.
Shit before we leave.
Oh, I thought you were gonna say diaper, bro.
Yeah,
like Depends.
I mean, not a bad idea.
Dude, just bring Depends, bro.
Yeah.
Just shit, and you're good, and then you just some diaper cream later, you'd be good.
This episode is brought to you by Pampers.
By Depends. It all depends.
Imagine, bro, fucking investigating the haunted insane asylum where you were in Lake Illinois.
Oh, I would have just shit inside the building, dude. I was like a scum. When I was young and I was like a scumbag, dude, I would have leaned up against the wall and just like, just right down the side of the wall, just, painted the wall with that shit.
Hey, guys, look, it's ectoplasm. Right. It was like, yeah. And they're like, Jesus Christ,
Matt, what are you doing? I'm playing Lincoln Logs. Like,
oh, shit. Yeah, it happens, man.
I was that guy though. Like I was a dumbass, dude. Like that's
was.
I'm
sorry.
Savage.
Now I'm just an older dumbass.
I don't know, man. I mean, I've shit my pants a lot. It happens, Like I'm big into like fishing, hunting, stuff like that. When I got my first deer, the day that we went to go get my first deer. The moment that we got up to like the fucking woods, I immediately shit my pants.
Really?
Oh god, yeah.
And so I had to pull over, use the fucking remnants of my underwear, throw that in the woods.
You didn't go for the socks, dude?
No, dude. Oh, and I was like, I feel sick. I got like food poisoning. Like I feel like shit. And I'm falling apart. And by the time it gets midday, I'm like, we're not gonna get anything. It's fucking blue skies. Like we're not gonna hunt anything. And of course, a buck and a fucking big ass doe run across the road. I got a doe tag, so I'm like, it's time to fucking party. And I got
somebody's dying tonight.
Yeah.
You just shoot and poop a little at the same time.
Dude. Yeah, it was like
40 clicks and
dude. Yeah, right. Dude, not even 40 clicks. I mean, how far do you think it is from that wall right there?
That far, bro?
How far do you think it is? A couple feet?
Yeah,
yeah. Like maybe 4 feet, 6 feet.
6 feet. 7 in the morning.
Yeah. So I was about 6 feet, maybe less from that fucker. And I just, we stalked it up into a clear cut, and then it disappeared. And then we're like, well, I feel like shit, and I shit my pants. So I want to go home, you know? And so I'm like walking, and we're like not even like hunting talk. We're like, oh, we're going to be real quiet. We're like, oh, fucking, I'm so tired. Like, just crunching through the woods. And then all of a sudden this doe was like, doot, 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 what the fuck? And I got my doe tag, and so I'm like, okay, I'll stalk it and we'll see.
Maybe it was attracted to the scent of you shitting your pants.
Ooh, maybe.
Yeah. Saying, like, maybe that's the key. Maybe. So next time I go hunting, I got to be like,
get them pheromones.
And put a little in the beard and just, it's gonna be good for later.
Wiping the leaves as you walk by.
Like, Matt, why you got mud in your beard? Oh God,
something like Sasquatch.
Oh. Right?
Or like bat squatch.
Yeah.
Swigfoot,
yeah. Our friends in a ska band in Arizona used to be in a band up here, and they have a mascot, I guess, or whatever.
It's like Bigfoot drinking a fucking like a what are they called? The beers that
Spear sign?
Like the German ones.
Fucking
out of
the Steins, yeah.
Yeah, that was Stein, yeah.
And their band's called Swigfoot.
That's fantastic.
Fucking awesome.
That's fantastic.
Right. I can't wait to fucking hear them. Bro, you playing a band?
Yeah.
What's the name of your band?
It's called the Casket Collection.
Fuck around, bro.
Dude,
There's Carlson in a band called Casket Collection.
Yeah.
What are you playing?
I play the microphone.
Yeah?
Yeah. We just actually had band practice last night, and we wrote a new song, like 3/4 of a new song, and it's probably the heaviest thing I've ever been a part of. And we used to play in a band that had like 8 strings and shit, so it was like low heavy, but we're playing on 6s and drop C for those musically inclined, and it's fucking gnarly. It's gnarly. Like we literally played it and we stopped and we're like, all right, everyone turn on your phones right now.
Yeah.
Because we're going to have to record that. And then we recorded and we're like, dude, what the fuck?
So is it like a metal band? Or
yeah.
So you
hardcore.
Yeah.
More hardcore or more metal?
It's
I'm versed in that kind. I'm versed in those genres and I listen to that kind of music.
It's definitely metalcore-esque. I would say.
Yeah.
But that song we wrote last night was like slam, dude. It was fucking low and slow. And I was like, that's going to be gnarly to play. Yeah. Because it's going to be like all these like fun, like metalcore songs where they're screaming and it's like breakdowns and shit. And then you're like, anyway, here's this song. And you're like, what the fuck? what the fuck is that?
My rep, or how would you say that?
My
upbringing when it comes to music is so diverse. Like my cousins got me into listening to like dark metal and like all kinds of weird shit, like, or even really gnarly stuff like Cattle Decapitation and Dying Fetus and Skinless and all of these bands. And I've been to shows, and I remember there was one band that I went to go see, and like they were playing, and they like their music sounded so dark and so like gnarly that it was crazy. Like the guitarist went up there, he's playing, there's this little fucking showcase, dude, there's no fans, there's no nothing in there, and as the dude's playing, his hair's just fucking floating like with gravity, like and you're just like, what the fuck? Like that weird feeling, that fucking, I had that shit. I was just like, oh, that's not okay.
I've had the pleasure of opening up for some really phenomenal bands. Like the Casket Collection was really new, so hopefully by spring we'll actually be doing our first show. But my previous band was called Touring to the Grave, which you can find the music for free on Bandcamp. It's fucking out there, but it's like almost, I don't know how many years old at this point. But it was super fun. So we got to open up for some dope bands. Slaughter to Prevail. If you know who those guys are.
Yes, I do.
Yeah,
actually,
do you know what Slaughter to Prevail is?
Alex the Terrible?
Yes.
Oh, dude, I know about it. He's not into that kind of shit. But
I like it, but I'm not.
Imagine a 7-foot tall Russian dude who wears a devil mask and
in
comes
his
out
videos,
on stage.
he's holding like an AK and shit. It's so great.
He's crazy. He's huge. He's tatted up to the fucking neck. He's a monster of a human.
And his voice,
gigantic.
His voice is fucking insane. Like how low he can get, it's crazy, dude. It's so crazy.
He is such a weird guy. We're gonna open for him, and my buddies were also on the bill, so we go load in, and then we're all kind of standing it was a two-stage venue, so we're up in like the top floor venue, like we're like the actual main stages.
Nice.
And we're all like BSing, whatever. And I'm talking to my friends, and we're like, "Oh, sick! That's the other band." And I didn't really listen to this a lot of Propel. Like we listened on the way to the show, just to know who we're fucking with. And this 7-foot tall Russian dude with fucking tattoos up the neck just like comes in through the door, and we're like, that dude is gigantic. Mm-hmm. And he walks up to me and goes, "Hello, my name is Alex Terrible. I play for Slaughter to Baville." And I was like, "Nice to meet you, Alex. You're gigantic." And he goes like, "Yeah, I'm Fred. I play with Two Under the Grave." And he was like, "Oh yes, first time being in Portland, lots of bridges." And I was like, "That's why it's called Bridge City, sir." Like
that's what he looks like.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, so he's a fucking huge beast.
And he wears a mask that looks like that. A lot of times. Like, I know it's for his
Russian Hate Project on YouTube is fantastic.
Dude, so sick.
Yeah. That was before Demolisher came out.
Yeah.
It was around the same month that came out. And so he goes, "I have to go do a sound check. I'll be back.
I have to go do some lines.
Yeah, I'll go do sound check." And I go, "Oh yeah, man, go do sound check." And he goes up on stage, and of course, you know what he sounds like.
Oh yeah.
And so he does that, and the whole fucking venue goes silent. And we're like, "How the fuck does somebody do that?" Like, I've been playing music for a long time. I can't fucking do that. Mm-hmm. That's weird, And he gets off stage and he goes, "So, what is the nearest bar?" And I was like, "It's fucking downstairs, bro. Let's go." So we're buying him drinks and shit. This huge Russian. Dude. And everybody was like, "You're fucking tall as shit, dude." Like,
I didn't know he's that tall, dude. That's fucking crazy. He's huge. Yeah, he's just a scary looking guy.
He's tall and he's fucking jacked, dude.
Yeah.
He's a monster. He's a monster human being. But he's so sweet. He'll have a nice conversation with you.
Sorry. I wanted to bring up last time I was on their podcast. Dude, the Zach Brown band, you were telling me that you, when they came to Portland, that you were, roadieing for them?
Yeah, I was like a stagehand for them.
You were roading for Zach Brown band,
so the two times that they came through, God, I can't remember what years that was. I was a stagehand at Sleep Comfort Amphitheater, which is now like Sunlight Supply or whatever the fuck it is now, out there in Clark County. I was like a stagehand, so I had to set up their equipment, their guitars, their mics, all the shit. I'd actually work directly with the band, and those guys got me fucked up. So the odds are the Zach Brown band sees this. Thank you for the free booze,
dude.
And we could go right into like that whole one of the topics he wanted to bring up is like best drunken stories.
Yeah,
dude, because I mean that's a great drunken story right there where you're getting hammered with it.
With fucking Zach Brown,
dude.
Yeah, bro, it was cool. It was a really weird night. Yeah. We they were doing this fun VIP experience where they had set up like, God, there's like 7 members in that band or something like that, and they had set up like 7 different grills, and they were all cooking burgers and shit, and they had moonshine that they actually made.
His eyes light up.
Yeah,
you just said food, food and booze.
Yeah. They had this moonshine that they made. And so like if you're 21 over, you get a jar of that moonshine to keep. It was like a little thing, but I mean it was enough to get you fucking trashed. And they were like cook burgers, and they had this whole thing where they would go to each table and they would eat their lunch with you guys, all the people. And it was a VIP experience. Take photos, hang out, talk, shoot some shit, whatever. And
what's the other one?
I was like, like what a badass, moment to have. And I think they had already done it, and I can kill this.
Sorry, we're going into drinking.
Speaking of drinking,
we need drinks. Even though I'm like super sober guy right now. So.
For now, bro, it's not gonna last long. I will get you drunk before summer. I promise.
We'll see.
Yeah.
Sorry to totally.
Thank you.
Beer.
Liquid death.
So.
There's water.
So we had I'd set up all their equipment. And what was really cool was the beginning of the day, because when you do your loading, it's fucking early. I mean, people don't realize, like, when you're doing a production that big, it's not like local shows where you kind of load in a couple hours before and you're like, oh, we're gonna hang out, and then you get this bullshit because you don't get a lot of gear. You have your guitars, you have your drums, your bass,
but I mean, if
vocals, right?
In our experiences, we take our own PA. Like if it's a fucking wedding or we do got to get there pretty early. If the party starts at like 3, we have to be there like by 10 to set up so that we're not interfering with the party. Anyway, sorry.
Yeah, I mean,
we got to get there early. Is what I'm trying to say.
But with what we did, it was like get there at 6. Show isn't until fucking 12, 14 hours later.
Yeah.
Because you have to set up your lights, you have to set up your massive sound display, your head of house. You have to check every single fucking piece and make sure everything runs correctly. And so we got there super early, and these 2 guys walked out on our back dock because I'm just kind of waiting. I'm helping everyone load shit in, but I'm like, my job is to set up the equipment, like set up the guitars, all that shit. And these 2 guys walk up and they go like, they're huge, tall dudes, and definitely not with us. And they go, do you know where the nearest store is? I'm like, yeah, Safeway or whatever, that way. And I was like, okay, cool. And like an hour goes by, and the like tour manager comes up on the back dock, and he's like, everybody, we're gonna take a break for a minute. The band wants to say something. And they came up with like 200 fucking donuts, like those cans of coffee. They had like maybe 10 of those, and they bought all this coffee and donuts. And then we're eating coffee. We're drinking coffee and eating donuts, and then drinking donuts,
just drinking the powder,
eating coffee, drinking donuts.
Yeah.
But they were like, they brought out like Nerf footballs and shit. We're playing like fucking like touch football in the parking lot and shit. It was just super weird. I'm like, what a weird fucking show this is. And so I'm like, okay, so these guys kind of rip, they're pretty cool. And it was probably like 4 or 5 hours before show, and usually I would go home, take a nap, and then come back. But I was like, I'll hang out just in case the bands really need anything. Because usually I go, you interact with the bands. You go, can I get you any food, water? Do you need anything? Because it's like, I can't remember what it's called. It's like a write-up sheet, basically. It's like what like musicians, comedians do, where they're like, I want this kind of water in my dressing room.
I forget what it's called, but you're right.
Yeah. And they were like, can you get us some moonshine from the thing? Like from our little barbecue. And I was like, yeah, sure. So I go in their backline truck. I fucking grab a case of it, walk it into their green room, which they were super nice to only use one green room. And where they're like, oh, do you want one? And I was like, I can't, I gotta work and all that stuff. And I was like, I really appreciate it. That's really cool. And I walk back out to the back dock, and I'm talking to my boss, my foreman. And he's like, you didn't accept booze from them? And I was like, no. And he goes, get your fucking ass back in there and go get booze from Zach Brown. But when are you ever going to do that again? And I was like, yeah, you're right.
You know what?
Yeah.
Twist my arm, motherfucker.
I mean, like,
right?
when am I ever going to be able to do that again? Yeah. So I'm like, I walk back in. I was like, hey, if the officer will stay, my boss says it's okay. And they're like, yeah. So we start fucking. And then, of course, I get hammered.
Yeah.
And I'm like, okay, I got to, like, chill the fuck out because I still got to do my job, And about, like, 50 minutes till showtime, you go into the green room with the artists. You get their in-ear monitors in, hand them their guitars, their drumsticks, their fiddles, whatever, right? And you give them the same speech. You go, there's a white line across the front of the stage. It's a 6-foot drop to concrete floors. If you fall, you can break your neck and die. So I recommend not falling off that. There's also runs that run through the stage. Those are about 2 to 3 feet deep. You fall on that, you're going to break your leg. In the event of a fire, we'll go this way. In the event of this, we'll go this way. That kind of thing. And you get a confirmation. Everybody understand? Yes. And I walk in, and those dudes are fucking. When you start like getting so drunk, you start getting sweaty.
Oh God!
In an air conditioned room. Yeah, dude, sweat. And I'm like, oh fuck, oh fuck. Like I know I'm fucked up, so I know these guys are for sure fucked because I left a couple hours ago, and they haven't stopped. That fucking that case I brought in, that shit's gone. So they're fucked up.
On moonshine.
On moonshine. So they're fucked up. And so I give them their shit, and I'm like, dude, I don't know if this is a good idea. Like, this is a bad idea. And I was like, all right, boys, it's going to be 3, 2, 1, mark, and intro music rolling, let's go. And they're like, on it. They go out there, and they're like, what's up, Redfield, Washington? And immediately just killed it and slayed their fucking set. They did like a cover of like Inner Sandman by Metallica. And just
dude, he be doing covers, bro.
Yeah, it was a fucking rager, dude.
They had, dude, when we went last time, he brought the Zach Brown Band hat.
Oh, man.
They did a fucking medley of covers, huh? And then each band member fucking takes a song, bro, singing.
Yeah.
I had to
see that. It's the shit.
Yeah,
I'm not even really a fan, but.
All right, we're going to wrap it up here.
I'm only saying that I'm new to that whole kind of scene.
It's cool, man. I mean, Zach Brown, man.
Yeah,
because my country background is like
you kind of look like him.
Well, my
totally. I can see it. It's
you.
No, what do you mean? Zac Brown's the fucking best. It's mainly the beer.
Oh, yeah. But my country background is like older country. Like that's what I like. Super old.
Like
country.
George Strait,
and
maybe some
Tim
old
McGraw,
Garth.
baby.
Yeah,
Tim McGraw.
Yeah, some Garth. Yeah, but that's about it. Like, and then I went through this whole phase where I was like super into punk and super into metal and all that stuff.
Yeah.
And that if you're in that scene, it's like fuck country and like fuck this. Like if you listen to country, you're
it's
gay.
super weird.
And
I fucking love country.
And then but then it's like the same people listen to like Johnny Cash, and it's like a lot of that very country style. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And so it's like, I don't know. And then recently I was like, you know what? Let me give country a try. So I've been listening to me and this guy will go off on tangents about country music now. And I'm like, oh, yeah, I know what
country,
that is.
like when it comes to singing and vocals, country music has some of the best, most on-point harmonies that you can fucking find in music.
I don't doubt that.
Yeah.
It's insane.
I don't doubt that.
It's insane.
It's just,
and it's hard to do.
You got to think about where I grew up and where I was from, you know what I mean? Like that's
you probably listen to SPM and fucking Lil Rob and fucking
Lil Rob.
But yeah, that Zac Brown Band show though was the only show that I ever worked at actually got into a fight with somebody.
What?
Which was super weird.
Because I mean, Zac Brown.
What did you say? Fuck the paranormal. You're like, what'd you say?
No, dude. I mean, there was a couple times when I'd be a stagehand and like someone would try to get close to the stage or whatever, and you fucking dive, and you're like, no.
You gotta be like stagehand and security.
Yeah, you gotta chill the fuck out or whatever. And I was at head of house, which if you've ever been to the Ridgefield Amphitheater, you'll see it. It's a fucking giant sound mixer. I mean, it's right in the middle, right before the pit, right past the pit. I mean, it's kind of hard to miss. And there used to be a set of couches that used to run across back behind it, probably about, 4 feet, 3 feet, right behind it, right? And that was like the deluxe seating. So you'd sit there and get this nice, comfortable seat. There was bartended. They would come get your drink order.
And low key, if you're sitting next to the sound mixer,
yeah,
it's sounding pretty good from where you're at.
I mean, fantastic. Because if I didn't have to like do my actual job and like sit on side stage, I would literally go sit at head of house and just pull up a fucking seat. They're doing all that. I don't need to do anything, so I'm gonna watch a show for free.
Yeah,
like that's how I watch Kids for free and shit like that. Where I was like, whatever, Wiz Khalifa, Fall Out Boy, like I did shit like that. Where I just was like, I'm gonna sit here and watch this because it's free, right? And I'm have my back against the wall. Right behind me is those couches, and I'm like, kind of coming down of my drunk, and I'm hydrating. So I'm like, okay, I feel fine, but I'm fucking tired. Yeah, like it's been a long day. And once the show's over, then we have to load out, and we have to get everybody on the road and all this shit. But I'm just enjoying seeing Zac Brown, man, because I love them and they're fantastic. And I'm like, man, the show's phenomenal. Like, their stage presence, everything, fantastic. And this fucking douchebag is hopping up and over the railing because there's like a safety railing, in front of it. And he's like, him and I'm guessing either his friend or his brother, or whatever, they're in like that like business attire where they got like the collared shirt and the tie and like whatever, and their wives are kind of dressed like secretaries or whatever. If it's some weird foreplay, I don't fucking care. But they're hopping up and over. I'm just being honest, and they're hopping up and over and
role playing at a concert.
Yeah.
We're gonna be criminals.
Organized crime.
Let's go.
Sorry,
I want you to shove this stapler in my ass. Now,
give me the spreadsheet.
What? You're not into Office Kinks?
Yeah. Office
Come
Kinks,
on,
bro. Come on, man.
And so, my record has 19 paper clips, motherfucker.
19.
Don't ask where.
Oh God.
Have you seen my stapler?
Yeah.
Sorry, I had to go there. You said stapler.
Yeah, totally. Fucking love that movie. But so I'm like, hey man, you got to stop doing that because it's a safety hazard, So I'm like, hey, you got to stop doing that.
The stapler or the jumping?
Oh, the guy jumping.
Oh, okay.
If you're throwing enough fucking spit on it, it's fine. But
okay. Just saying.
But the guy hopping up and over the railing is a safety hazard. So I'm like, because he's clearly drunk, and I'm like, hey man, you got to stop doing that because if you get hurt, whatever. And he's like, oh, whatever. And he hops back over, and then actual security, walks up, and they go, hey, man, you got to stop doing that. You're going to get kicked out. Well, if you don't know about the Clark County Amphitheater, it's right next to the sheriff's station. Oh my God. Of course, we have the cops there, right? Because they're actually there. And I he fucking the security walks up and she goes, "Sir, you gotta stop doing that. You're gonna get kicked out." And the guy looks down at me and goes, "You called the cops on me?" First of all, she's not a cop. She works part-time. Second of all, I didn't call him. She watched it happen.
Right.
So he grabs his fucking cup of beer and he just spills it onto my head. So I did the only reasonable thing was reach up and grab his tie and fucking pull him over the railing and just start hitting him. Yeah. Because literally, it was like okay, just immediately, no forethought of like any potential charges or lose my job. I was like, no, you're coming with me. So I pull him over.
That's instinctual reaction.
I start hitting him and I look up and this cop is in full linebacker motion and I just fucking go, well, this is gonna hurt. Fucking wham onto my back and he's like, you're done. I'm like, I'm fucking done, dude. Like you saw it, I'm done. And they kick all them out, lifetime ban. And then I'm sitting in my foreman's office, and he walks in, I'm just soaking wet, covered in beer, and he's like, "Saw the footage, nice." No way. And I was like,
didn't get in trouble? Like, hey man, this is your job.
I have beer in places that beer shouldn't be. I'm fucking cold.
And I've had beer in weird places before, sir.
Good show.
I don't know.
Saw the footage.
Yeah,
nice.
Saw the footage.
I was like, sorry, dude. Like, yeah, but I mean, we dealt.
Like, can I get a copy of that? By the way,
but we've dealt with fucking crazy. I mean, people like that.
I'm sure shows, bro. People get wild.
Even musicians, man. Like that. I think did I ever tell you my Drake versus Lil Wayne tour story when they came through? So my first ever show I worked was Drake versus Lil Wayne, and I had I was just a pusher, which basically means you just do the heavy lifting. You move this from here to here to here. Caveman shit.
The mule.
Yeah, the caveman shit. We were like, lift everything.
That's usually the job I get.
Lift big bucks.
Yeah. We had a guy that looked just like you that we called Tiny Tim, who could lift like a fucking 300-pound speaker and put it on shit. So of course he wasn't always a pusher until I was like, I want him as a stagehand with me because he's gigantic.
Yeah.
And anyway, we fucking the Drake when I was there was like, does anyone know how to set up mics and other stuff? And I was like, I've been in the band for X amount of years. And they go, you're gonna be a stagehand. So of course that's how I got promoted. First show, Drake versus Lil Wayne. And we do all the bullshit.
But they don't have a real band though, don't they?
No, it's all backtracks. But they had a 2-story stage, which is a pain in the ass. Don't even want to even get into that. But they had separate green rooms with their respective bodyguards. And like I said, I had to go into each band or green room and be like, what do you need? Do you need anything? Blah, blah, blah. Go in and I knock on Drake's green room. Big ass dude answers. And he's like, can I help you? And I'm like, I'm here to get whatever you need. And they're like, oh yeah, come on in. And then like Drake is just in there like reading something. And he's like, oh yeah, man, what's up? Drake. And I was like, yeah, Fred, nice to meet you. I was like, can I get you anything? He's like, yeah, let's see a menu. And I was like, yeah, I got a menu and get that. We can even like run to a store and get you shit. Like whatever you want, we got you. So they wanted this, this, and this. Perfect. And then I go knock on Lil Wayne's green room, and the door opens. Another big ass dude answers, and it's just like this cloud of smoke,
Of course.
And
just all...
yeah, I mean basically. So I walk in, and he's got his sunglasses on. He's just
all zonked out, just to go.
I mean, just out fucking cold.
Just
I assume,
out, dude.
all fucked up. And they had 2 palm trees, little baby palm trees, like, juveniles in the corner that they had brought on tour with them. And I was like, that's fucking weird to have in your green room. Because he's like, I want Cali palm trees, blah, blah, blah. And I was like,
I want Cali palm. I won't do the show unless I don't got my Cali palm trees.
You're gonna love the end. Because he goes, yeah, can I get Sprite, ice, this, and this. I go, Sprite, ice, this, and this. And they go, also, we have a cooler that's in one of the trucks. Can you grab that? Like, for sure, I'll go grab that. So I'm thinking it's like probably like alcohol or whatever. I don't give a shit. I'm not a fucking cop
or something.
Well,
he just nods to that,
bro. Because it's Lil Wayne. I know Lil Wayne's fucking paying for like the lean.
Sipping on that scissor.
Yeah, bro.
So I fucking go give Drake all his shit. I go in, I grab the cooler, I go into Lil Wayne's room. I'm like, here's all your food, here's your Sprite, here's your ice, your cups, and then your cooler. And they open it, it's just full of like 4 codeine cough syrup things. It's filled. Shit. And I'm like, oh, they're about to start making lean. Yep. Tight. I don't give a shit. I'm not a cop. I don't give a fuck. You do what you want to do. You can fucking do blow on this. Probably it's been done before.
Yeah.
Recently. You know, like I don't. It doesn't matter.
By my guys.
Honestly, wouldn't be surprised. I mean, dude, you just see some of the guys that used to rig the lighting, bro. They'd be like high on amphetamines, like fucking 90 feet in the air. Just like, oh, figure it out. Give me $1.
Need more duct tape.
You know, and we like go into like give them the monitors, the mics and shit. Give Drake monitors, mics, give him the rundown. Hey, you know, 6 foot, blah, blah, blah.
White line, 6 foot, broken neck. You know.
Yeah. And he goes like, thank you so much for that. And he was asking me other questions.
I heard Drake's like behind the scenes is a nice guy. Sorry.
Yeah, people say he's a dick. Like that's what I hear a lot. But he was really fucking nice to me. Maybe because I was like, I'm gonna protect you, you know. But I don't know. But I go over to Lil Wayne's green room and I knock on the door, and that dude is fucking gone, like gone. Like when I talked about before how he was slumped, it was way worse now. Dude is gone.
No way.
And before he talked, and I walk in and I give him the rundown, and he's literally like, And so we're having to put the monitors in his ears for him.
He can't do it.
No, because he's so fucked up. And I'm like, fuck. You know, like this is bad. And I was like,
how can people perform like that?
Well, I give him the rundown, and I'm like, hey, do you understand? Like, you could possibly die if if you fall off the stage. And he doesn't respond. And I was like, looked at this guy as a security, and I'm like, and he's like, you got it, he's got it. And I'm like, all right, man, like let's fucking go. And so 15 minutes till doors or till showtime, I walk in, or 10 minutes till doors. Or not doors, showtime. I walk in and I go like, all right, we gotta go, like right now. And Drake's like up, ready to go. You know, he's feeling it. He's getting all amped up. And I walk in, and Lil Wayne fucking pops right up, and he's ready to go. And he fucking gets out there, and they killed the set. It was a fucking just blowout set. It was crazy. People were smoking weed out there. I mean, it was crazy. Dude had like 9 fucking different blunts in his pockets and shit. Was like pulling blunts out in between the set, like ready to go. So anyway, the set ends. Lil Wayne walks out, surrounded in a circle of bodyguards. Doesn't say shit to anybody. Leaves. Drake walks out in front of his bodyguards, shaking everybody's hands, thanking everybody for coming out and helping, and is very thankful. Like we had like tour shirts that I still have, like with like this staff only shirts. Like I still have that. Like he was just this cool guy. They get on their buses, they leave, we load everything out. A fucking week later, Zac Brown Band comes through town, so we got to start prepping the green rooms. And I walk in there, I'm like, what the fuck is this smell? I walk in there, and the fucking palm trees are still in there.
They're all dead and shit. They're all dead because they haven't got any sunlight or anything.
Yeah,
fuck.
They fucking left them in there.
Oh,
it's like, you motherfuckers.
Must have been one of the last rows of the
that's
fucking
because
tour.
that's because he had those rainbow colors in his cup.
It literally wasn't, because I later found out they had a truck, a semi truck full of like 40 of those. So they just left them.
They just you should have taken them home. Those things are fucking crazy money too.
Plant that motherfucker in the yard.
Dude, I was like, that's fucking, I wish I had that much money.
Just to be leaving palm trees around?
Those things are a couple grand each.
That's what I'm saying.
They're not like fucking cheap. Oh my god.
What a weird fuck you to people though. I wish I was that level of rich to just leave weird shit.
Take care of my
trees. What the fuck? Like he leaves this podcast, he leaves a fucking palm tree over there in the corner. He's just like, yeah, whatever, dude.
you know how fucked it would be if you like worked at like a motel somewhere in like Southeast Portland and you go clean a room and there's a fucking banana tree just inside.
Right.
Just like in a pot growing.
Right. Oh god.
Like, how'd you get this up the stairs? What the fuck?
Just I picture it being like something super like off kilter, like you just like a fucking I want this fucking chandelier no matter what. This is where I want it. And so he comes to the podcast, he put up the chandelier for him, then he just leaves. Fucking leaves the chandelier. He gets fucking one of them at his podcast. You're like, oh, he's been here. You go to like a random podcast somewhere else, like, oh, he's been here too. Holy shit. You guys got one of those too?
It hangs down like this far, blocking.
Instead of signing his name on the guest walls, it's palm tree.
All you see is my mouth now. It's just fucking chandelier right here in my fucking face. Oh yeah.
Oh, dude, it's so funny.
Fuck, that's crazy, man. Cool, that's actually a badass. Fucking Lil Wayne, bro. I don't understand how he can be from this.
Bro.
All right, man. Y'all ready to rock the show or what? Like, what shot did they give this guy?
I mean, autopilot, I guess, man. You know, like, I mean, you're a musician. I mean, have you ever been like really fucked up and played a show and you kill it?
Yes. And it gives you a weird energy. I'm not gonna lie to you. Like,
well, okay, I've been okay. I'm not a musician. I was a DJ.
Yeah.
And I was a DJ at a bar and a few other places, but I've been completely fucking obliterated and had like the greatest show ever. You know what I mean? The greatest set of my life. And then like afterwards, I'm like, how the fuck? I don't even remember fucking playing. Like, what the fuck, dude?
Funny story. Me and his brother, he's the drummer for our band. He has been for like, how long has George been with us? Like 7 years. 7 years. We used to go to Salem a lot to play Remy's. It's the sister club with Mojitos here in 122nd. We used to get there early, smoke mad weed. And before the set,
and drink $9 beers for free. That they give you probably for free, but $9
at Remy's they don't. At Mojitos they do. I don't know I don't know why.
God, that place is expensive.
That's the Mexican market because they know Mexicans got to drink and they're gonna pay whatever it is. Anyways, that's neither here nor there. One time George got fucking high off his ass, bro. High, like you know when you're like, that's pretty high up. He was higher than that, bro. Like, bro, he was so high the birds were like, fuck that shit, bro. Like it was high, bro. Bro, we go up to set, and I'm pretty high too, but I'm conscious. I'm like I have to focus a little more because, bro, weed is not my thing. Like I'm a beer kind of. I'll drink a couple shots here and there, but smoking and going to play is different because it alters me differently. Anyways, that's neither here nor there. So I'm like kind of. And I hear George fucking up on the drums bad, bro. Like, missing cues, fucking, the song's end, and he's like, you know what I mean? Like this. Bro, Felix, the accordion player and main singer, at the end of the set, thank you, good night. We're Los Normas and Nadias. Until next time, drive safe. Sound cuts. He cuts off his accordion. He looks up at George, our drummer. I'm doing it again. I'm being animated with the microphone.
Yeah. I'm watching you do it the whole time. Yeah.
I know. I'm sorry. He looks at George. That's the fucking last time I want you to get high before a show. After the show, I don't give a fuck. Before the show, don't fucking not a puff of weed, bro, or you're fired.
Oh shit.
He fucking takes the accordion off and storms off the stage. George looks at me and goes, "Dude, I thought we were killing it." I swear to God, I'll never forget that shit, bro. Oh, fuck, dude. He was like, bro, I thought that was the best set of my life. No, he was fucking up bad. I gotta have George on the fucking show and tell that story. Right?
Oh, dude, that'd be so good.
It's weird that my only story that I have with like in a band like that was from my drummer.
No way.
Yeah, he was, dude. It's all. I mean, I swear to God, it's always the drummer. But he was always like he was just kind of a weird guy. He would always like pop acid and shit and be like, but it was
a real drummer.
But yeah, but it was tight though because we'd usually do it like like whenever like we were like smoke weed out of a can, whatever. I don't give a fuck. But he showed up to practice like fucking 45 minutes late. We had a show the next day or something like that, or 2 days from there. And we're like, dude, you gotta hurry the fuck up because like we don't live that far. I mean, we're at my guitarist's house, so we don't really gotta really go anywhere. Right. But like hurry the fuck up. And he shows up and he's like already sweaty. It was warm outside. I'll give him that. But I was like, all right, dude.
And to be fair, drummers, they're hauling shit in now, and it's
oh no, it was we had an in-house kit. His kit was already there.
He was late and there was a kit set up.
Yeah. So he fucking goes up and we start playing our set, but then he wouldn't. He was like I said, he was missing cues. He was playing too fast in some spots. He was doing drum solos in spots that didn't have drum solos. Just doing just weird shit.
Just on his own thing.
Yeah. I mean, like we would be trying to so we'd be like, yeah. So I think during that bridge we can probably do this. And he's like, I'm like, dude, you gotta chill the fuck out.
Right.
And I was like, I'm gonna go outside and go smoke. And I decided to go smoke a cigarette. And he walks out there and he's sitting down and he's going like. And I'm like, are you fucking balls? I'm like, are you fucking tweaking right now? And he goes, Fred, I swear to God right now, I'm blasting off on DMT. And I'm like, you motherfucker, who does DMT and comes to a heavy metal practice? Jesus, what are you
I've heard that DMT are like near death. Like, isn't DMT what's released in your brain before you die?
Yes.
Yes. Yeah. Like, you know, people say that they like
fucking crazy.
That their life flashes before their eyes. They say that.
Yes. It's the release of DMT. Yeah,
DMT is fucking crazy. And he's like, dude, I can see film reels of every memory I've ever had. And I was like, okay.
Before practice?
Like right then. I was like, okay, tell me more. You know, because now I'm interested. And he was going like this. And I'm like, why are you swiping? And he's like, because I'm able to go through and pick each memory, and when I touch it, I'm able to relive that memory in real time.
What?
And I'm like, that's fucking crazy.
We're doing the wrong drugs,
I don't. Like,
well, see, while we're on this drug tangent, sorry, I'll let you keep going.
Oh, well, I go like, that's pretty cool, but we still gotta fucking practice the set. we still gotta get ready to go play a crazy house show in a couple days. And he's like, yeah. Finally gets it together, go in, finish the set, feel good, it's a tight set, we're ready to go. And 2 days later goes by, we go do our house show, right? We're the second band in, okay, and it's a fucking crazy house show. I've never been to a house show like it since then. It was crazy. Like the entire fucking block showed up for a metal show. It was gnarly.
I've been to one of those
hundreds
before.
of people.
I've been to one of those before. Yeah.
I mean, we almost tore the house down. It was fucking gnarly. And you know, we're there and we're like, where the fuck is he at, bro? You know, like he should be here right now. Yeah, he's not. So like I call him and I'm like, bro, where are you? And he goes, oh, is that today? And I was like, yeah, where are you? And he goes, oh, I'm in Seattle. We're in fucking Portland. And I was like, okay, why? And he goes, yeah, I took a bunch of acid and I got on a train. I didn't realize I was to Seattle. He didn't realize. And so he's up in Seattle stripping malls. And I was like, well, so we're fucked. So we're not playing a show. And my now drummer, Vaughn, who was playing guitar, also played drums in that band previously. He goes, what we call Jackson, who was this guy who's one of his best friends who plays like what I can only be described as like funk music, but he's played
folk or funk.
Funk.
Yeah.
So like he had a band called the Jackson and the Funky Bunch. So like they were just when you think of like white dude in Portland, obviously you think of like flannel,
beanie
jeans,
half on,
beanie half on, jeans that are too tight,
kind of rolled up at the
but
bottom.
they're like, yeah, dude, what's up, dude?
Yeah.
Like he's like that, but like way less annoying, and he's a fucking sweetheart. But he had played with us previously, but obviously he left once he found an actual drummer who played the music. And he called him, and he was like, dude, can you like fill in? And he's like, oh, I live like 2 blocks away. And we're like, oh shit, I didn't know that. And he comes over and I'm like, do you remember the set? And he's like, nah, we'll figure it out. We just played a fucking gnarly set all night.
Those are the best sets. That's every time we play with Pepe, bro. I swear to God.
Yep.
Just pig squeals and breakdowns, just fucking
with George.
Yeah, I had to go on because you guys were talking about the drug tangents and stuff. You know, we're talking about like hallucinogens and stuff. And I know it's not related because it's not music wise or whatever, but
we're talking about drugs. It's related.
Okay, yeah, I guess it's really So,
you were tripping
have
balls
you guys heard of salvia?
Yes.
Okay.
I got a story.
Okay, so I got a story. I figured I'd tell this. So, okay, so I used to go out. I'd go out to the clubs and I'd party a lot and all this stuff. And it was the first time I've ever been around someone doing it. And I was like, okay, cool. So what happened is I go to the club and I meet these 2 girls, and they're both from Minnesota. And I thought they were funny as hell.
Minnesota.
Minnesota.
They talk like that, but they were super hot. And it was like 2 of them, and they invited me to go back to their trailer at the trailer park. And I'm like, Jesus Christ, okay. So I'm like, oh, fuck yeah, I'll go, whatever. Yeah. And then they're like, oh yeah, we're going to try salvia. We've never done it before. And I'm like, oh, fucking cool.
You know what salvia is?
And I'm like, I don't fuck with that kind of shit.
Yeah.
Like I just drink. Like, it's just like no, it's cool. And you smoke it, and then you get like a really, really like heavy trip.
Yeah.
And it's not even that long. Like their trip was okay. So like the first sister did it, and she just like zoned out for like a fucking minute, popped back in, and was like, oh my God, that was the craziest thing ever. Couldn't explain it, couldn't talk about it.
She was able to come back pretty cool
in a minute, yeah. But she was still kind of out of it. But she was okay. You know what I mean? And couldn't explain what she saw. The second sister did it, and you could tell she was really reluctant, so she didn't have the right energy or whatever when she went to go do it. Oh my God, this chick, dude. They had this crazy looking carpet on the floor, one of those ones you'd see in like the old 80s houses that have like all of the. It's like no, but it's got that red and the greens and it has like the lines and all that crazy stuff.
Like kind of like or like you thinking more like shit you see on like a city bus or.
But
like
it has
like
almost like the flower stuff in it and all that stuff. But she like starts writhing around the floor on the floor like just tripping the fuck out. And I'm like, what the fuck? And so we're like trying to grab her to calm her down because it's like, it's insane. And she's like, the whole floor turned into a meat grinder and I was being ground up into little bits. And I was like, what?
That's what the fuck I'm talking about.
Fuck.
I relate more to her trip.
And I was like, I'm never doing that. No, fuck no. And then my cousin does it in front of me at our house. And I'm like, God, this is going to be horrible. Dude, he just goes into this like little trance, like Zen state. And then he pops back out and he goes, that was the coolest fucking thing ever. He goes, I just folded the whole universe into like a little pouch and I zipped it up. And then I unzipped it and it went, and then I was back and I was like, what the fuck, dude? Yeah, sorry, I had to tell that.
I had done salvia once. This is when I was probably like 17, 18. And I was just like smoking weed with my homies, barely, like for the first time. And I'm like, I'll smoke that shit. Like, you smoking weed? It's cool. I was the first one to hit it. After I hit it, nobody else did it. What happened, do you ask? That's a great question. I'll answer it for you. We were outside of the apartments. It was an apartment complex. It was the bottom floor. We weren't inside. We were standing outside the front door of his apartment. And his front door was under the stairs that go to the second floor apartments. So I was standing under the stairs. The stairs were behind me that go up. Mm-hmm. The stairs were behind me that go up. Yeah. I'm sorry. I get animated. Bro, we hit it out of a piece, out of a pipe, right?
Yeah,
like a pipe. And I kind of forget what it looks like. It was like a shitty kind of lit area. But I was like, I'll go first. You guys are bitches. I hit it. And the siding of his apartments is just walls, like probably like 4 or 5 inch slats of just all right. It comes into play in a second. I hit it, bro. I forget where I am. I don't know where I am, and luckily the stairs were behind me because I'm falling back, and the stairs catch my head right here. My homie standing next to me, I had my phone in my hand. I don't know why. He said I was trying to hand him my phone like this. I don't remember this. What I am experiencing is the lines on the wall. Do you remember there was a game where you had to stand on a platform and a wall came towards you in a shape of a silhouette, and you had to...
Oh, you had to do the silhouette?
You had to do the silhouette? Yeah. SpongeBob was doing that shit on the slats, and every slat down was a new level. And I'm looking at this shit tripping balls for like a good minute. But the thing is, after the minute,
SpongeBob.
It was so bad, and it was scary. I was tripping. I had never tripped that hard before, bro. I had smoked weed and I got high or whatever, but I had never tripped like that before. So I was like, what the fuck is going on? And then when I kind of got back to, and then you snap back into where you are, and I'm like, it freaked me out because I'm like, what the fuck just happened? You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. And I kind of go, when I walk out, and I'm like, I need to get fucking hair. And everybody saw me, and they're like, nah, you can keep that shit. I'm not in that shit, bro.
Dude, it's the scariest thing I've ever seen. Like my cousins were big into hallucinogens. My one cousin, he did mushrooms all the time. And like there was one time he's sitting on the fucking couch and I was like, you okay? And he's like, I took mushrooms. And I'm like, oh, fucking cool. So like an hour later, he's still sitting in the same place on the couch. And I was like, hey, bro.
I did mushrooms.
I was like, did you see that?
I do that a lot.
I was like, did you see that?
Mushrooms.
But he did a lot. And he was like, did you see that fly coming around, that fucking big ass fly in the kitchen? And I'm like trying to fuck with him, like, oh, look, it's a big ass fly. And it's like this little tiny fucking thing. And he goes near me. He's like, whoa. And then I'm like, okay. I was like, hey, bro, let me get you something. let me get you something to drink. So I go and I give him like a fucking glass of apple juice. And I was like, don't spill that shit. And then he looks at me straight in the face and goes, I just dumps it on the floor. And then I was asking him next day, I was like, what the fuck was up with that, dude? I had to clean apple juice all over the floor and everything. And he goes, dude, I didn't even think you were a real person. And I was like testing to see if you were even real. So I was like,
yeah. Dude, disassociatives.
What the fuck, dude?
Yeah. Disassociatives are fucking crazy.
Yeah.
It was, so I hadn't done like mushrooms for, God, I don't know how many years. And my mom, who had passed, God rest her soul, we did like 2 memorial services where we went to her, the first one we went to her favorite bars, hop through all of them to remembrance, get really fucked up. And I was with Taylor, my fiance, and my cousin and his now wife. And we're just getting fucking trashed, going all through these little bars. End up at a karaoke bar. I did some metal. It was tight. Had a lot of fun.
What? Oh, I'm good.
And we fucking we go to leave. We had Ubered out there, obviously, because I didn't want to drive. And my cousin goes, how about you stay the night, and we'll drive you back home in the morning? That sounds like a plan. So, like, you know, as we're going to the car, his wife goes, have you taken mushrooms before? And I said, fuck yeah, I have. I fucking love mushrooms.
We fucking party up in this bitch.
And I'm fucked up. And my fiance had never done them before, so we did them that night. It went pretty well. Fantastic. Everybody had a really good time. Thank you. And I was like, did you enjoy doing mushrooms? And she was like, yeah. And I was like, okay, I'll go get some. So I went and got some more. And I usually take like 2.5 grams. I usually take a fucking lot.
That's a fuck ton.
Dude, yeah. Yeah. But I'll pace it out over quite a while. Okay. So it ramps up. So it's not all like, and he fucking hits you in the gut.
I never meant to give you mushrooms, girl.
And so you're not like, holy shit. It's usually like build up. And then you're like, whoa. And then it fucking evolves, you know? And I'm taking quite a bit at a time versus her, where I was giving her like 0.5 gram. Start there. We build up by each 0.5 gram. I was like, I'm going to take 1.5 grams and get fucking this party started. And she looks at me and she goes, I'll take as much as you take. And I go, so you want to see God?
Right? Oh,
and she goes, it's not going to be that bad. And I go, that's funny that you say that. Go ahead. And so she took as much as I took. And then like once it started kicking in, I was like, how do you feel? And she's like, what the fuck?
Right? Yeah.
And I was like, don't fucking panic. Go panic. It's going to get worse. Right?
Is that true?
I've
never done mushrooms. I'm gonna live with you. There's a mushroom, but
mushrooms are fantastic
if you control yourself, right?
Well, yeah, but that's the thing about mushrooms is like, I mean, I have like depression and shit, so like people are like, oh, it's really good for depression, but you can also fuck with your brain if you're taking a hallucinogen, right? You can think of dark shit and it fucks up your trip. Like during that trip when I took my 2.5 or it might have been 3, I don't really know.
Damn,
I wasn't measuring. It was a lot.
You're just like.
Dude, yeah, I was like, that's about the size of my palm of my hand, and I took it, and we have a painting of our.
These are sun trails, right?
It's super fucked up. We have a painting of our dead dog in a room, which is really cool when you have sex. It's like just up there. It's super cool to look at.
You're gonna breeze past that one, like
it's super cool to have in your room. So that was up on the wall.
Yeah, Rover.
Yeah. And
you see that? You see that? Doggy style.
Yeah. Learn that from you. Learn that one from you, buddy.
Yeah. So now I'm fucking like tripping balls, and I'm looking at the painting of our now deceased dog, and I'm like, holy shit, like it's coming to life, and it's like fucking like morphing out, and I'm like, holy fuck, I'm starting to have a bad trip because it's a dissociative, but you're like trapped in your own body in a weird way. Like you've taken mushrooms, right? So like.
I didn't go to that extent,
okay.
But yeah.
But I mean, if you take enough, it's a dissociative.
I was only a little bit when I took it. I've never really.
Yeah.
I'm
if you fuck around with it, no, it's.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, it's really. I'll get into it, but I was like, holy shit! Like, it's coming to life. I'm starting to freak out, and then I'm like, and I kind of like close my eyes, and I'm like, hey, stupid,
you're tripping.
She painted that. It's of our dog that passed. You know who that dog is. That dog loved you to death. So why are you afraid of it? And I was like, oh yeah. And so I open my eyes, and it shrinks back into the painting. And I changed the lights in our room to something more bright and more like yellow. It's nice and pretty. And then like I swear to God, my brain was like, now sink. And it was just like, and like the fucking wall started raising, and I was like, this is the coolest shit on the planet. Like the walls are moving. It was almost like I was in a boat. Like shit was moving, and I'm like, this is fucking dope. And I go, there was actually one way to make this a little more intense. Is you just stand up.
Oh, God.
Right? You get that blood flowing again, right? Makes things pump a little harder. So I stand up, and I look at my hands, and since it's a dissociative, you're looking at your hands, and you're like, what is actually controlling my hands? Mm-hmm. Is it the soul? Is it the mind? Is it this? You start getting really in depth, and then you're like, I could really go for some fucking Hot Pockets right now, dude. Like, this sounds fucking tight, bro. Like, yeah, it was fantastic. It was like mushrooms are great.
That one scene in Jumanji where he starts fucking.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah, dude, it's crazy.
My buddy Josh, he got really depressed, and someone told him to take mushrooms for depression and all that stuff. So me being, the good friend I am, I'm like, hey, let's go fishing while you're on mushrooms. And he's like, okay, cool. So we go float tube fishing, which good. I don't know if you know float tube fishing. Yeah. So we're sitting in our tubes on a lake at fucking midnight. Okay.
Oh, good.
And so we're sitting out there, and I'm playing the Jaws theme song, and I'm like trying to fuck with him, dude. Like I'm like, oh, this is gonna be fucking great, dude. He is sitting there loving it, Love it. He had the best time of his fucking life. And then I started playing Miley. It was right when Miley Cyrus Wrecking Ball came out.
Yeah.
And they did it in like, what is that? Like
you told me the
C
story
minor
before.
or whatever it is. You know, the one sounds all warped and really.
Yeah.
Yeah. I start playing in that. And and I start playing the video and everything. And I'm like, dude, watch this shit. And he was just like. And to this day, he still, like, he'll eventually, like, every once in a while just send me that video. And I'm like, dude, are you doing mushrooms right now? He goes, no, dude, but I was just thinking about that night. It was so fucking great.
Yeah.
And it's like, dude, what the fuck? Like, how do you have a good trip on that shit? I'm playing Jaws while our fucking legs are dangling in the water.
It's
and it's pitch black outside.
I did a stream, like forever. I also stream twitch.tv/I Hunt the Haunted. Check that out. Also my Instagram. So it's tight. But I was doing a stream where right as I started it, I was like, I'm going to take some fungi and we're going to see how long I can play Warzone. And then I went off camera and I consumed a bunch of mushrooms and like a lot. And then I got back on camera and then I was like, we're going to fucking see how many wins I can get in Warzone until it hits. And boy, let me tell you, that stream fucking changes real quick because I'm like, okay, I'm starting to get a little like, starting to get a little crazy, you know, like, okay, I'm still popping off. And then like, I would like, oh, we got a hot drop on whatever. And then I would drop, my guy would like get on the roof and I'm like, what the fuck? Like, bro, there's like a 3D world like on my desktop, dude. What the fuck? And then I get killed and I'm like, whoa, dude.
Headshot.
Like, what is a gulag, bro? You know, I'm like, fucking. My buddy was in the call with me. He's like, you should end your fucking stream. You should end your stream,
hey, bro. End.
And I was like, all my mods are like, dude, you're fucked up. You should probably end your stream. And I'm like, I've been fucked up on camera before, plenty of times. And they're like,
currently,
and I just fucking was like, I'm gonna change this into a music stream and just like put it on my logo, blacked out the camera, and then just played music, and it was just fucking tripping balls, listen to fucking like Fit for a King, just like, whoa.
Oh my god.
One time I got high off my ass, off of weed, like a normal person. Yeah. Have you ever heard?
Like a normal person?
Have you ever listened to the Gorillas High Off Your Ass?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Highly recommend.
Yeah,
you know the Gorillas.
Yeah.
That was the song.
Been going? Like an hour and a half. We got to have him on here again.
As of right now, we're 136, which is like our average.
Oh, wow.
It went by really fast, actually.
Yeah, we're going to have you on again.
Yeah, for sure.
For sure. There's a million things I want to talk. We didn't even talk about his future podcast he's going to do called The Dock, which is, I didn't know before this that you fish. What the fuck?
Oh, dude, I fish. Yeah.
That's how we know each other.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
From my YouTube channel, right? I think we met.
Yeah, we will. Because of his YouTube channel, I messaged him on Instagram and be like, hey, let's fucking fish.
Yeah.
And then I was like, hey, I built a boat, and I built a bass boat out of like an old duck boat. Mm-hmm. And he was with me the first time I took it out to like actually go fishing on it.
And then I had to smoke his ass. I was like, "You sure you know how to fish, buddy?"
It was dude, okay. It was like really early in the beginning of the fishing season.
Yeah.
And we were at Hag. It was still in spring, and so the fishing was just tough.
It was really tough. I'm not gonna lie. I think I caught 2 bass.
He caught like 2 bass, and I caught like a giant crappie, and that was it.
I was more impressed by your crappie than my bass. I'm not even gonna lie.
Yeah, it was pretty.
It was a nice.
It was a nice crappie. Yeah, like a dinner.
Which, by the way, if you guys want to see that video, PDX fishing, I'll tag it. I can tag videos right here. Yeah. If you're watching on YouTube.
Yeah. But yeah, it's gonna be called The Dock. It's a comedy podcast. It's just gonna be me and my bandmate because he has his podcast. All my friends are dicks. Which is fantastic.
Fucking name for a podcast.
Who he does with his other bandmates. And the MFA, which is the Motherfuckers of the Apocalypse, which is one of the best fucking punk names that ever exist. Mm-hmm. The motherfucker, that's a fucking hard ass thing. And also, I'm gonna be on one of their tracks, actually 2 of their tracks on the new record. So go check that out. That's gonna be sick. Bringing Down the Sun and
the MFA, bro.
I don't know why I've heard that before.
Oh, they've been around for a minute.
I was gonna ask you.
I've heard them before.
You're in the hardcore like fucking metal scene. You know the band called Crooked.
Crooked, yeah, I know some of the guys in Crooked.
Our friend Shane.
Oh
yeah.
When I told you like tatted legs like a
so.
motherfucker, I'm like, is his name Shane? That's what I'm talking about.
That's who he's talking about. Yeah. We know Shane. I know actually a lot of guys in that band too because I've heard them play a few times. Yeah,
they're badass too. I was gonna talk about, but they're not fucking metal. I was gonna talk about the originals that aren't a band anymore.
Yeah, no, they're
not.
They're not.
No.
Tyler moved to fucking Arizona.
Tyler moved to Arizona. Dylan's in Ninjas with Syringes now.
Ninjas with Syringes.
Ninjas with Syringes.
Hard name.
Dude, they're like a pop punk kind of band, but their lead singer, Matt Danger.
Nice.
Best fucking porno name.
Best porno name ever.
Yeah.
That guy is fucking phenomenal. He does an acoustic set that's fucking. It was the first time I've ever heard an acoustic punk set, and it was the greatest thing I've ever heard. He's just a fucking showman. Like he can do a show of fucking anything, and you'd be like, oh my god, this is fucking great. Yeah, you know what?
I mean, yeah, There's this guy who's gone on tour with the MFA. Who, if anybody has seen the MFA live, probably met him.
I'm pretty sure
his name is Eric Anarchy. He's pretty well known to be part of those guys. Like we'll be on tour with them and shit like that. But he's just a lone dude with an electric guitar and distortion.
Yeah.
And he starts off every song with the song title. So say it's Masturbating with Dog Shit, which is an actual song. Masturbating Dog Shit, Masturbating Dog Shit. And then it's just that song. Or Who Let Shamu on the Bus, which is my favorite.
Who on the bus?
Who Let Shamu on the Bus.
Shamu.
Yeah.
The whale.
It's fantastic.
But Masturbating with Dog Shit.
Yeah. I've yet to...
Cash shit's better.
I was like...
I've had my friend Marty, who's gonna be my co-host, talk about that guy so much that I haven't even met him yet, and I feel like I already know who he is.
Dude, Masturbating with Dog Shit though.
That's a punk name.
That's
bro.
a
That
punk
is like
name.
Jesus. I listened to a lot of fucking punk, and that
Eric
is like,
Anarchy.
Or
that is the gnarliest fucking name for a song I've. One of the gnarliest ones I've ever heard.
If you look him up on Spotify, you can see like all the stuff. There's like ones like I'm gonna piss on the White House.
Yeah, I've seen a lot of
which
that
is
kind
like
of shit.
speaking of piss. Yeah.
Yeah. I used to listen to a lot of like Anti-Flag and like all kinds of a lot of political punk and stuff too. So that
Yeah. But I don't know. Should we?
I don't know. We should probably wrap, dude.
Okay.
Yeah, because it's been this long, dude. We got so much more to talk about.
I know,
and so
that's
much.
true.
Yeah.
And we have to come back with Taylor too. It's
Yeah.
not fair to-
Yeah.
to have
Yeah.
all
Next
the fun
one, it'll
now.
be. We'll do another one when I'm drinking because I'm even more lively.
So we'll be back here tomorrow. With
No.
I mean, I'm not gonna say no.
I'm gonna make you drink, you motherfucker.
I have Sunday off.
Oh,
So
it's the first. It's the first. Happy New Year.
Happy
Fucking
New Year.
Happy
holy
New
shit.
Year. Yeah.
2020. Merry Christmas.
Because when this goes, by the time this one airs, it'll be.
It's fucking tomorrow. I have no time to edit, and it's not tomorrow.
Yeah.
It's the day before, after tomorrow. But by the time this is aired, Happy New Year's.
Oh
Merry
yeah,
Christmas.
we missed our Christmas podcast because of
it
the ice
froze.
storm.
It froze
Yeah,
last
the
week.
ice
Yeah,
storm.
we didn't
Yeah, so-
record last week.
your guys' Christmas podcast would probably been a better topic than mine.
I can't wait. Is it dropping on
It's
Sunday?
already out.
It's
already out.
The one you recorded tonight?
No, that'll be out on Sunday.
That's the one I'm talking about. That's the one I'm
Yeah, our actual Christmas podcast
It was
wasn't a
the
very fun
OKC
topic.
it was
What was it about?
Part 2 of the OKC Bomber, and I'm not going to give it away, but there's a part where they describe having to amputate a woman's leg with a fucking
Swiss Army knife.
Swiss Army knife.
Yeah.
On that podcast?
Yeah, it was not the one that's coming out. The one that just came out earlier.
If you check their newest episode as of right now,
Amputating a woman's leg with a Swiss Army knife?
yeah, it's a fucking absolutely incredible story of these people's heroism to save this woman's life, and it's fantastic.
and the thing is, while they're trying to because she's stuck under some like steel beams. Her legs are.
Yeah.
So they're amputating her, and while this happened, they find a second bomb. Like they could potentially all die. And so they all kind of look at each other like, if we don't leave right now, we could die if this second bomb goes off. And they all kind of look at each other and they're like, should we leave? And they're all like, no, we're going to save this lady. And the lady survived because they got her out of there.
Yeah.
Okay. I got so many questions. Okay. Anyways.
Listen to the Hans Graves and Omens podcast, and they will answer all of your questions. Available on all podcasting.
Spotify, Apple Podcast. I mean, whatever you listen to, whatever kind of app anybody uses. You can check us out on our socials, Hans Graves and Omens, HGO Podcast on Instagram. You can find me directly on Instagram at iHuntTheHaunted. You can find me on twitch.tv/iHuntTheHaunted. We got a link tree in our, all of our show notes.
Put all those
out there. Yeah.
I'll do this and make all that visible right here.
Yeah.
We have a nice universal link tree.
Yep.
Throws it to everything.
There you go.
New episodes every Sunday. We just fuck around. I don't know.
Fuck around, and
I
I
wish we
love
could
it
be
so
that
much.
committed.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's hard. You live in Beaverton. Move closer. How about that?
Wait, you don't like the sound of gunshots?
Bro,
we get those too, but it's like the North Plains guys shooting coyotes and shit. So.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. No, these are aimed toward people. It's funner.
Yeah. I love playing those games. Dodge a bullet.
Wait a minute.
Will I get stabbed today?
Wait a minute. You guys are playing games?
Yeah.
Right.
Anyways, guys, this has been the Go Deeper podcast. You also can find us on all social medias across all podcasting platforms, like how my man Fred said, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, fucking Google. I don't know where else, but it's there too, I'm pretty sure. So you guys can check them out over there. Instagram, the Go Deeper Podcast. TikTok, the Go Deeper Podcast. Matt's beard is getting more luxurious day by day, so we're going to keep going with that. He's sober right now, but it's my life goal.
By choice. By choice.
It's not even a New Year's resolution, by the way. I want to fucking plug that in because you've been sober for like a couple weeks now, and we're still 2022 as of this recording. So it's not a New Year's resolution, but it is my New Year's resolution to get you fucked up. So we're gonna do that, ladies and gentlemen. Until next time, thank you, Fred, for fucking coming out. I appreciate you. Salud por los negocios.
Sir.
Fuck you, Matt, for not drinking.
Yep.
Until next time. Thank you, Ari, too, for coming through, bro. Appreciate you.
Feel free to have fun.
Oh, dude, I got you.
Yeah, there you go. I like it.
I forgot to push record. Can you pretend to redo it?
Are you serious?
Here, I'll do this, right?
Nice. I actually did get it all out. But thank you for coming out.
Messed it up. I had to